Madam, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Oh, I'm also doing good.
Thank God.
But what was your upbringing like?
Thank you for having me once again. I am Muftawu QUARCOO from a family of 7 siblings. Coincidentally, I'm the last born.
Oh wow, 2 last borns that have a good conversation.
A Wednesday born too. My father was also a civil servant, likewise my mom. I was brought up at the Western region, precisely Takoradi.
Oh, okay.
I attended school, my primary education at one of these sites, Accra Road Methodist Primary, and continued to the middle school, thanks to second cycle, that's Fijai Secondary. After Fijai Secondary School, I came to Accra.
Okay.
At the Workers' College, I did my A-level and continued with the fire service for a while. Then went to my tertiary at Winneba, University of Education.
Oh, okay. So the upbringing, how was it like? Like, are you from a family of where there was always joy at home, there was always loads of enjoyment, plenty of food to eat, or you are one of those people who came through the hard way and broke the glass ceilings?
Fortunately, I wouldn't say when I was coming up as like a silver spoon on my mouth. No, I'm coming from a family where an average family,
okay,
where the parents were together till death one went off. Oh. Yeah, my father was a very strict person. Likewise, my mom. But my mom, you know, women, feminine touch. Fortunately for me, my dad really loved me, and he loved what I was doing as a sports person and combining education and sports. So he really encouraged me. And when I was in school, I was doing athletics. I was the Western Regional champion, high jump, jack of all trade. I was then looking for where I'll be the master. I was playing lawn tennis, table tennis, high jump. As for football, it was a home game that we used to play with the people around my locality.
You were playing with the area boys?
Not area boys. If you play down, we were living upstairs.
Oh, okay.
When you get down and my old man meets you down there, you'll be whipped. You know? Fortunately, I'm the last one. I'm right behind about 5 boys.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, so it's like I used to play with them a lot. Tomboy life.
Yeah.
Whenever we were going to church, I prefer to wear their suits, and, you know, because I saw myself, I was identifying myself with them. You know? So apparently, this is all about it. That is all about it. My parents really encouraged me, especially my dad. My mom wanted me to always be with her at the kitchen. And whenever I go to the kitchen, I realize that my brothers they were playing. Yeah. Why am I at the kitchen? I'm the last person. So I quickly ran out, play with them. My mom would chase me everywhere. She wouldn't get hold of me. My father would ask my mom to allow me, and he was encouraging me. And trust me, that really gave me that booster to continue till where I got to as a football player.
How did the sports journey begin? Was it from the school level where you took it a notch higher, or you were just playing with your brothers and then the interest just took over from there?
Yeah, it took off when I entered into secondary school, the first cycle. Somewhere along the line, there was something we call interco.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes. I was very tiny, so I could really run. I started with 400 meters. And along the line, my school teacher, that's the PE teacher, asked me to try my hands on high jump.
Is there anything you've not done before in your life?
I wonder. So I tried high jump in house, and I was first. So there and then I started training towards the high jump competition that was about to be held. That was interco, during the interco. After the 400 meters, I went to do the high jump, and I was first. So I realized that, yes, this is an area that I can really specialize. So I started on and on and on. In Western region, for a while, I was the champion for a long time, till I came to Accra. Then we had something called regionals, Western Region represented, I represented Western Region and in Greater Accra. And there was something we called mobile games.
Okay.
There were so many games.
Was it that?
Many years ago.
Yeah, it was initially one of these fuel companies called Mobile.
Mobile.
Okay.
Yeah, Mobile.
Okay.
Mobile. Mobile games.
Yeah.
So I think one of the training section in Western Region towards that mobile games in Accra, I was able to make a record for Western Region. So then there was a man called Mr. Olympio. I think he was the sports authority boss in Western Region. So he told me that I think there is something I can do and do better in terms of high jump. So if I stopped everything and started concentrating on high jump. Until we came to Accra, the mobile games, a lady called Stella Sadami would play service. She was far above me. So I said, no, let me continue.
Yeah.
After a while, I think one day I was in Greater Accra, training with the Greater Accra, people in the Greater Accra, athletes in the Greater Accra, and I saw ladies playing football. So, I can play football, I know how to play football. Okay, so after our training, I was hanging around waiting for them to also finish. When they finished, I talked to somebody and he said, oh, ladies who play football are all over in Greater Accra and they have clubs, so I can join. Then we had come, my parents have been transferred to Tema.
Yeah.
So a very good friend of mine, Simon Ado, the junior brother of Joe Ado.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he stays in Tema. We had then left Takoradi So when one day I met him and we were talking about football. He said, you can play women's football for my community. Tema, they had annual games that they play, both men and women.
Okay.
And their area was side 16. So since he was a friend, I said, okay, I'll play for your area. After that annual games, I was spotted by a club called Supreme Ladies. May his soul rest in peace, Malam Issa.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, I should come and play for their club. That was Supreme Ladies. So this was how come I started playing football, from high jump to football.
High jump, 400 meters.
Yes.
Football. Yes. It was a football that actually sold you to the world.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes. When we go to Western Region, it's athletics.
Yes.
Until I came to Greater Accra, everybody knew.
Oh, so in Western Region,
I was the high jump champion.
Athletics.
Yes.
In Greater Accra, football.
Football. Then it became nationwide football. Yeah.
Okay, so, I see. But at what point were you spotted into the national team?
Like I was saying, when I was invited into this Supreme Ladies team, I met so many good players there. And they were playing league. Okay, so it wasn't that big league like we are doing now. It was Ashanti Region, Madam Abi Bates Club, then Ashtown Ladies, and Greater Accra.
Oh, okay.
So a team was formed, Greater Accra, and it was named Greater Accra Women's Football.
Oh, okay.
So we played Ashanti Region in Kumasi. That is where selection was made for the national team for the first time.
Okay. And you were spotted? And picked up?
Yes. And I was picked up, and for reasons best known to the organizers, I was dropped again. But, it was too early. It was a maiden edition, so I didn't bother myself too much until I think we went to Benin, Greater Accra, we went to Benin. When we came back, then I was re-invited into the
team again. So how would you describe that national team journey?
At the onset, it was like we were having fun.
Yeah.
Because women's football then wasn't that big as we see it now. So we were having fun until we had the opportunity to go to India for, I think there was something Shield Cup.
Yeah.
And we won. When we came back, then Nana Sambu Butler was then the FA chairman, not president as it is now.
Yeah, it was chairman.
Yes. So then the president's wife, former president, may he so rest in peace, Rawlings' wife, Madam First Lady, Her Excellency Ajma Kunedu. She really encouraged us. She became the patron of the female national team. Yes. So she really encouraged us, and she put in so much effort to make sure that the team was well groomed.
And catered for.
Yes, and on and on and on and on. We started playing qualifiers. We went to Cup of Nations in Abeokuta in Nigeria. We were second, first runner-up to Nigeria. So we qualified for the World Cup in the United States in 1998. And we left for US 1999.
And talk to me briefly. We have heard stories about how there was this fierce rivalry between Ghana and Nigeria. What were they like?
This rivalry started right from the beginning. I remember when I was playing for Black Queens, we had one qualifier match in Accra Sports Stadium, and it was like a war. Even though Ghana's team was very young, we were very determined, but due to inexperience, you know, Nigeria had already started women's football long way back. Before, so, but you know, Ghana is blessed with talent. We were blessed so much with talent that when we were facing Nigeria, even though we were afraid, we were really exhibiting the
skill you had.
Yes, and people realized that no, Ghana team, if you are able to put in what is expected of them, it is going to go places.
And there was the 1999 World Cup, just as you mentioned. Tell me, when people qualified for the tournament, what was the feeling like? How was it like?
Oh my
Pandemonium?
Gosh. Oh my God. Then MND Jawula, late MND Jawula had taken over as the FA chairman. Yes. He went with us to Nigeria, Abeokuta. And when we were second and realized that we had qualified to the World Cup, trust me, the bus that we boarded, we sank from the stadium to the hotel. And he was happy. Everybody was happy because it was unprecedented. It hadn't happened before. And we had even qualified ahead of the Black Stars to the World Cup. And the feeling was something that I cannot describe. I can't describe. It was a very nice experience. And
your teammates, how was camp like?
Free for all. I mean, everybody was happy. Unity, love, understanding, that telepathy, everything was fine. Because we were starting, we didn't know the nitty-gritties to be in the national team. I mean, the politics in national team, I mean, there was nothing like that. We were just having fun. We were novice, we were having fun. And it was nice.
The fun took you to the US?
Yes, I tell you, the fun really. I remember when we got to F. Kennedy Airport, I was holding my trolley bag and I was shouting, USA, yeah, I come. Because then people were paying money to get the visa to US and they were not able to get it. I have gotten it on a silver platter. Oh my God. I really, really, really made fun of the whole trip to US. And I really enjoyed, and I really enjoyed the trip to
the experience of playing at the World Cup. How was it like?
We didn't know anything. The goals were just entering the post like that, you know. The first time, we didn't know anything. Yes, we knew we've qualified. We have to just at least
also come and play.
Effort, yes. So we were having fun. We were really having fun. We didn't know that there was more to it than what we experienced the last time. So after that World Cup, then we realized that, oh, football, even going to this first edition, that maiden edition, look at the things that we experienced in all aspects, culture, tradition, I mean, everything. So then we need to, and then we had people like Mia Hamm. I don't know whether you know Mia Hamm. She was then playing for United States. She was the captain. She was the star. The whole world, she was the star. And there was another player, Akes. They were so wonderful players. And I said, and they were professional players, women professional players. Then we can also do likewise because we also have the talent then. So when we came back, then a committee, let's say, yes, a committee was formed, GASOC, Greater Accra Women's Football
Oh,
Association.
okay.
Yes. So they were meeting at the FA, I think intermittently, and he started organizing league for women, and on and on and on and on, and we've come this far.
You've really come very far because you've got an interesting story.
Yes.
Because USA, here I come.
Yes.
USA, indeed, here you come. You were there, you
you.
experienced it. You saw what happened at the World Cup. But how disappointing was it that, well, though you were having fun, but to be conceding every part goes like that? Was it very disappointing?
To me, it wasn't, because that was our first experience, and those we were playing with, they were so experienced. A team like China beat Ghana 6-0,
Yeah.
and they had played and played and played. Asia, they have well organized tournaments that they play. So we don't have, and by God's grace, we've qualified. We really needed to have fun, so we were really having fun until we finished that tournament. Then we realized that no, we could do better. So when we came back, we started organizing ourselves. Fortunately, one of us, my colleagues that we qualified the team to the World Cup, Vivian Mensah, she was part of the best 11 in the world.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But fortunately, she left the shores of Ghana very early, immediately after the World Cup. I think a year or two later, she left, and she's still in the US up to now.
And many of your colleagues are in the US. But when you came back and they started organizing, making sure that there were structures for football, so that there will be some kind of development for the game for women in their country. If you look at then and look at the strides we've made, I remember recently when you went to Abuja for the Aisha Buhari Cup, where you said that we were so talented, we had everything going on for us, but now it appears we are now catching up. What went wrong between the time you people qualified for the World Cup and to now? What do you think went wrong?
For me, I think women's football was taken for granted. Like women, our place is the kitchen. Why do we play football? Even now, some people have that mentality. Why do we play football, women's football? Forgetting that the world is now global. Everything is going forward, moving forward. Everything is being well organized. Look at the World Cup Cup of Nations for women in Morocco.
In Morocco.
2 years ago. Were you there?
No.
The spectating.
It was crazy.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. That was just last year, actually.
I think last year. I was there. I was invited by CAF as one of the technical study group. And I was surprised. I said, wow, women's football has really, really come far. African women's football. Some of us paved the way, and it has really fetched. And looking at where we were and where we've gotten to, I believe there is more room for improvement when it comes to Ghana women's football. And they are not doing badly. Trust me, they are not doing badly. It's my prayer that how it has been started, or how the current administration is going about it, it will continue till we get there.
Till we get there. And talk to me briefly. I recall that some of the rivalries that you actually had in Nigeria, most of them came during African Women's Cup of Nations. Nigeria always winning the tournament, winning the tournament all the time. Were there any disappointment that, I remember the time that you came close, they would say Ghana, oh, this year Ghana could win, and Nigeria would just come and topple you, and they would go and think, how disappointed is it that all the time you were always close and never close enough to lift it?
Honestly speaking, it's disturbing, trust me. Especially now that I'm a coach. When I look back, what I can say that we were not doing certain things right. We were not organizing women's football very well in this country as at that time. We will be there, and a week or two, then women players will be organized, a gala will be played, and selection will be made for them to represent Ghana. Meanwhile, the club or the country that you are going to play with has started organizing themselves way back. So at the end of the day, it's like we were only dwelling on our talent. we were not thinking about developing the women's football. So for me, what they are doing now is far better than what we used to do. Now we are playing women's league. There is so much incentives, motivation here and there. After every match, a woman of the match. After every month, a coach of the month. These are morale booster. It helps a lot, and I think we are.
Were there a point you felt that no, Ghana, at least we should have won the African Women's Cup of Nations? Were there a point you felt that?
Yeah, I remember in Abeokuta, that was my time. As far back as my time, 1998, we played. Then Congo DR had a very strong women's team. Not even South Africa, Congo DR. I remember we played them, and they beat us, and we beat them, and we met again in semi-finals, and we went to extra time, and we managed. There was one player called Kakraba, was able to elevate Ghana. So we went to the finals. We played Nigeria almost 90 minutes. And due to one or two things only known by the referee, a penalty was awarded for Nigeria to win, because there should be host and win at all costs. So we were beaten by a penalty. That was okay.
So you felt cheated?
Very cheated. Trust me. Some of us wept and wept and wept. But you know, it's like sugar in your hands that poured into sun. You can never recollect them. So, and there was nothing we could do.
So when you beat them back in 2018, how did you feel? the Waffle Cup of Nations.
I tell you, it was my prayer, especially when I became a coach for the national team. It was my main aim or objective was to beat Nigeria, hands down, so that it would look as if we had played. Now I'm a coach. Doesn't mean I didn't learn anything from. Since I took over as a coach of the Black Queens, I think Nigeria has beaten me only once. That was during the qualifier.
Yeah.
They beat us in
Abuja. Yes.
I said, okay, it's only a fool who will sit down to be beaten twice. So when we met them in Ghana, we by hook or crook we beat them.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
the goals were not enough.
Goals, yes, weren't enough. And I beat them in Wafu, Zombie, and I beat them home, return leg for the qualifier. But the goals weren't enough to propel us to
the tournament. And it was even a tough draw for Ghana, considering the fact that two of the best nations, in the zone has to meet, and one of them will not qualify.
It's not the best. The zonal thing that they've invented is not the best. Trust me. You are eliminating some of the good countries, footballing countries, and you are not showcasing your talents in the continent. It isn't the best.
I'll come back to the coaching career, but let's talk about, at what point did you decide that you were going to be a referee?
All my life, I plan ahead. I love football so much. So everything about football, I made sure that I needed to get myself involved. You need strength to run.
Yeah.
You need strength to kick. It will get to a time, the soul indeed will be willing, but the flesh will not allow you.
Yeah.
So when I was playing, I said, okay, as for the playing, I said, okay, there will be a time I need to be a mother, start producing my kids. So I planned my life in such a way that at a particular point in time, in my age, I said, okay, after the World Cup, let me quit. Then I had done my refereeing courses. Okay. I was then class 2 referee. But I was not. So
before you quit football, yes, you were already into refereeing?
Yes. But I was not officiating women's football. I was doing calls and Division 3 and Division 2. So as soon as I finished in the football career, I quickly wrote a letter, official letter to the RAG. Then RAG. Now we don't have any RAG. Yeah. So Ghana for Referee Association
of Ghana. Yeah.
I wrote to them that I'm no more playing. I want to concentrate on my referee. So officially, they welcomed me, and I started giving matches. I was giving matches Division 2 and 1, Division 2 and 1. Later on, I was invited into FIFA Referee competition. You need to pass that test before you become a FIFA referee. Coincidentally, it met with my officiating in the Premiership.
Oh, okay.
I had my FIFA badge at the same time. The year that I had, it was the year I started officiating the Men's Premier League. So, in the nutshell, this is what happened.
But why referee in the first place?
I love football. Looking at the standard in which I was then, I said, let me continue from referee. Along the line, I believe there are other avenues that I was looking at.
Yeah.
But then, one at a time. I love football. I can read and write. I have the physique. I have what it takes to be a referee. I understood the laws of the game. And, so, excuse me, I'm a level-headed person. I could judge within a short or a twinkle of an eye. Why not? So, I was enticed by a lady called Christina Tete.
Okay.
I don't know whether you know her.
Yeah.
She was a FIFA referee, a very smallish woman. She came to Tema to officiate Kotoko and Afienya. Then we had Afienya United in Tema. That team was in Premier. And there was this guy, Jima India, a very thick, tall player. And when you look at the player and that woman, a FIFA referee in that match, and the way she was instructing the players and conducting herself on the pitch, I said, it was a delight to watch.
So you wanted to control?
I said, no, not really, not a matter of controlling, but, you know, referee is an act. And the way she was going about it, I did art in school. And, you know, art is in such a way that when you do things and it's accordingly,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
There's
nice.
joy in it.
Yeah, yes, so much. And after the game, everybody was applauding this woman. So I went to her and said, Madam, I also want to be a referee. I love to see myself doing what you were doing.
Yeah.
So you have what it takes to be a referee. So I will talk to one late Rockefeller Mensah.
Okay.
He was an assistant referee, FIFA referee. He was in Tema, a naval officer. So she introduced me to her, and I spoke to him. Introduced me to him, and I spoke to him, and he said I should write an application, and I wrote it. And it was Sunday. I sent the letter on Monday. Friday, they normally had their meetings on Fridays. So I attended their meeting. I was introduced to the house, and I started training with them on Saturday. And they started coaching me gradually. So I went to write class 3. I passed, and I started officiating boys' courts, on and on and on. Gradually, I wrote class 3. After 3 years, I wrote class 3. Then I was still playing. I wrote class 2. I passed. So then it was left with assessment.
Yeah.
Being promoted to class 1. For a while, I was in Black Queen's camp. So I think there was a time I was in camp when there was a game between Daewoo and
The youngsters.
Daewoo youngsters and a particular team I've forgotten. Daewoo then was in Division 2. That was my assessment. They were to assess me in that game.
Oh, okay.
So I was called, and I asked permission from Coach Afrani, and I came. The late Coach Afrani.
Yeah.
Coach Inahine Afrani.
Coach is in
So I came. I went to Daewoo to officiate. It was nice, and I passed. The assessor passed me. Immediately after the World Cup, I was promoted to Premier and the FIFA. So, as I was officiating as a FIFA referee, I realized that FIFA refereeing wasn't for riffraffs, excuse my language.
Yeah.
It wasn't for riffraffs. You need to read, understand the laws of the game, and implement them within a split of a second. So I realized that I needed to learn and read a lot. So I was reading and learning at the same time. And fortunately, I had my first international match. I went with the late Sly Tete. It seems everybody is late now. Those have been mentioned, everybody is late. God forbid, I'm not yet. My time is not yet.
No, your time is not up yet.
So I had an international game, my first international game as a FIFA referee in Benin. What's the name? Benin. Yeah, Benin, and I went with Sly Tete. That was between Benin and DR Congo. And I excelled. And the General Secretary of FIFA then, I've forgotten, I think Jerome.
Isn't Jerome Valker?
Yeah. Was it Jerome? I've forgotten the name.
If it is in the from the 2000 is Jerome Valke.
Jerome, I think it's Jerome. During the recess, then Issa Hayatu was also there. They had a meeting in Benin, a world meeting in Benin. So I was called to their office, and they spoke to me and said they like the way I am implementing the laws of the game. So I should see myself in the World Cup. So wow. But there will be a meeting in Portugal. I will be there. I said thank you. That gave me extremely the strength became
the biggest morale booster ever.
The strength became extraordinary. And I did the match safely, even though Benin lost.
Yeah,
they were so happy with the performance. And then the FA president there was the right-hand man of Issa Hayatu.
Oh, okay.
Anjori Musharraf.
Oh, Anjori, yeah. Anjori, yeah.
He said, oh, I've done well. So they would do everything humanly possible to assist me to get to the level that is appreciable. I said, okay. When I came back, I didn't sleep. I trained like a horse, morning, evening, morning, evening, morning, evening. Because when you become a FIFA referee, I don't know what you cannot do. You can do anything, provided you want to.
Wow.
Yes, because FIFA will pay you.
Yeah, yeah.
And he will give you the necessary information that you need to
do
your refereeing.